Hey YouTube, Pops and Bo here. Well, we're going to get inside this old shop right here and reclaim one side for ourselves to use to work on our boat projects. So we got a lot of abandoned debris here to get rid of. Go ahead and throw the door open, Bo. Be careful. The hinges are bad. Yeah, we got a little work to do. So we're going to get in here. We're going to clean her out so that we can get in here with some boats. Stay tuned. It's going to be a while. Well, we're cleaning up in here. We're making room to get a boat in so I can work on a few of my project boats. You getting the dirt out of the floor, son?
I found this old thing. I don't know how old this thing is.
Well, it sucks.
Oh, man. This thing really sucks. Yeah.
You nut job.
As opposed to blows, because it does not blow.
You nut job. I don't know. It's probably got an attachment on it for that being an Electrolux. Okay, enough fun and games. Let's get in here and finish getting junk loaded out and put into a storage bin somewhere else. Well, today we've got the trailer backed in. Gonna leave it attached to the truck. We've got us a temporary light up because none of these fluorescents work. I've been removing, before we got sick, I had already removed some of this wood down in here. I've got to get all the bench work out. Then we've got to get down into it and cut all the stringers out. We've done some cleaning up on the Gelcoat here. Been trying to figure a way to try to redo this type of pattern on it, but this is not going to be a success for me, so it's going to go back with something a little different. I would love to keep it. This looks like, if you can get up close to it, it actually looks like old corduroy fabric, which, you know, that may have been how they got that mold, is doing some corduroy fabric. I did a little spot here. I was going to pull a mold off, but with the cracking, it's not going to successfully transfer. I've done one other one and got it to peel off with all the wax that I put on, and I was going to go ahead and do this one. This whole section here is waxed all the way up, so I could make a strip, and then I was just going to find places like this that needed to be sectioned in and try to match them up. It's not working out too good, so I'm going to go with a different type of traction grip. I've mounted my little LED Porta-Cable, not sponsored by Porta-Cable, but hey, if you guys want to reach out to me, I'll be more than happy to put in a good word for Porta-Cable. I love their tools. Some leaves blew in here, got in the boat, so I got to clean all that out and then get back to work. All right, guys. Thanks for viewing, and if you haven't already, subscribe, click follow, and I'll keep them coming. I'm getting a lot more views than I have got subscribers. I'm not pushing that subscribe hard enough, I guess. Now, we pulled her in last night because of the rain. We got a torrential downpour for a little bit, and I didn't want the bottom of the vessel full of water. So what we're going to do is we've got to get down to these stringers here. We've got to cut them out. We got to rebuild new ones and put them back. And there's quite a bit of teak and mahogany that need to come out. We've got the teak floorboards here. They have to come out. And the mahogany benches that I'm sitting on, they have to come out also. And then the owner, he's one of the oldest members of the sailing club. He's going to redo his wood. So once I get everything complete, I'll inquire with him if he would like for me to leave the wood loose in it and bring it back, or if he wants me to reinstall it and him just take out one piece at a time and refinish it. And if you're going to be doing a little project yourself and you don't have access to a cluttered up shop like this one, this is going to be dejunked real soon. We're working on it. We're going to pull it out, dejunk. But if you don't have access to a storage area like a bay in your own parking garage or somewhere that you can work on it, I recommend doing one piece at a time. Take it out, put it back, or do one side at a time. You take it out, you do your wood finish, you cure it, you put it back. That way you don't lose anything. And one thing that if he does this after I get all the stringers back, I'll recommend for him to do is each one of these screws, I don't know if you can see where I'm at down here, but in these little stringers that are rotted out, they'll all be new. They'll be better than new. And what I'll recommend is instead of putting the screws in a little storage container to keep them all together, is actually put each screw just a couple turns back in. That way you put them back in the same spot and you don't wind up losing your item. And that's just a little tip that my grandfather taught me when I was a kid, and it helped me tear everything I had apart and not lose any screws. And trust me, I tore things apart that I should have never been able to tear apart. I was rebuilding carburetors at 12 years old. I rebuilt a Ford 302 at 12 and a half, almost 13. So I always had this mechanical mentality. I wanted to know how things work. I've torn several things apart and didn't get them back together. Like my brand new 5-speed bicycle. I was trying to find what went click, 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 click in the back tires whenever you were rolling down the road. And I took that thing apart at about 8 years old and it never got put back together. So it's good to it's good to keep track of items. But for those of you that are watching, if you're watching because you're wanting to do a project on your own, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, basically that's just, let me know what you're wanting to see. I'll try to make better videos. I'm trying to get some better filming equipment, some better editing equipment. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to do here for you guys. You know, it's not for me, it's for you. So if you let me know what you want, I'll be sure to try to do it. But pretty soon I'm gonna get to the point where if I don't have the subscribers, well, you know, what's the point? I mean, if I can't at least get a couple dollars to leave to my son whenever I'm gone, I'm 52. I won't be around long. He's 15. He'll be around a while. If I can't get a couple nickels from an ad once in a while, then I might as well quit this, hadn't I? Come on, help me out, guys. All right, so basically I'm just unscrewing everything. We've got the teak floorboards off. We've got some trash out of the boat. I'm going to strip this all down, and then I'll bring you back, and we'll get the fin saw, and we'll cut these stringers all off. Now he's repaired a few things here. I'll bring you in here and let you see where the owner of the vessel's done some repairs. Okay, let's turn a flash on so you can actually see what I've got here. You can see this fiberglass here hasn't been shaped down. It's just raw fiberglass on here on several repairs and across the stringers. And that'll be addressed so that we can have the vessel back in shape that is better than it was when new. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that this is a 1969 Lightning. So it's a real nice, it's a nice solid vessel. It really is. I like it. And the only issue that this vessel's truly having is over the years of not rebedding the stainless work, it's let water seep down into the wood. And let's see, you can see that there's nothing left in here. There's what's left of the wooden stringers. Now, wood's not a bad idea for these stringers at all. The customer wants to go back with a man-made stringer, and I'm looking for that at this current time. So anyway, that's where I'm at, guys. Let's get to work. Now, one thing that you ought to do if you're working on a project similar to this, now these stringers, it doesn't matter that these are only like maybe 2.5 inches by 1. Does not matter what you're doing. The first thing you want to do after you get everything cleaned out, before you cut a single piece out, is get you a notebook. Get your measurements. Get your measurements so that you can go back as close to original as possible. Now those measurements need to be something, if you're not the greatest at drawing blueprints or diagrams, then don't worry about it. Just, make it little block figures, whatever you want to do, and write down port side, starboard side. This way you got them going back in the correct way. Now you'll notice that there are some little weep holes right here under these, if you can see where I'm at. These little weep holes need to be put back in. And the best way to do those is with a hole saw. And you just cut the hole saw on it, and you cut it before you take the length or the width of the board down to what you want it to. What I'm going to try to do is get the boards that's twice as wide as these ribs are tall, and then I'll just put my hole saw through it. And what that should successfully do is when I separate it, if I've got the hole saw here and I separate it dead through the middle and then dead through the middle, that'll give me that quarter hole for the weep holes to function up along the center board here, where this is your closet for your center board that cranks up and down right here. So there's my next little tip for you. So get yourself organized. Try to do small increments on your little jobs if that's what you're doing. And if you want to get into it like I'm into it now, I'm not a business that's open to the public, so Joe Blow can't come walking through this door and say, hey, I want you to do my boat. I'm now mobile. I will go out in the truck and I will go to docks, marinas, yards, and I will work on vessels there upon call. And that way I am mobile for hire, but I'm not for hire here at this spot. So if you want to get into it the way that I've got into it, to where you can go out and start a business and make a little money on the side, be sure you're not allergic to any of the chemicals or any of the material used in doing fiberglass, as many people are. Asphyxiation due to anaphylactic shock, that is no joke, people. So be sure that you can handle doing this. Test a little spot first, see how you react around it, and then you can move forward. Currently, I've got about $8 grand invested in starting a fiberglass business up, and I come across several really, really good deals on what I started out with. And that's fiberglass resin, MEKP, rollers, everything I need to do fiberglass. I've got enough material. I've probably got about maybe 4,000 right now in material, and as I do the jobs and turn them back over or sell the boats, and that's not S-A-I-L, that's S-E-L-L, the boats, I will increase my product. And yes, I did throw some of it down as credit to start the business, but with I think I've got about $5 grand in credit right now, so I'm in debt $5 grand. So I've got to make a comeback on this. Kind of hoping YouTube will help me get a little bit out of that financial debt. Maybe one day I'll get as big into sponsorship as somebody else, But like I said, I've been doing stuff since I was just a kid. When most people were still at home, I was 17 years old. I was in the United States Army in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, training as artilleryman. And I went in, I volunteered to go in, and there were some guys that were in back in 1987, that those guys were thugs. They were told by judges they had to go to prison or they had to join the Army, and that's the last couple of years that the courts were allowed to do that. And put that kind of garbage into the Army. And as a little 17-year-old boy, I ain't gonna lie, I had to fight many of these 20-year-old guys that thought they were tough. It was kind of funny because they were trying to show off for their buddies, beat up on some little country kid. I'd already been helping a master martial artist named Maurice Moore and another one named Gary Moore teach their karate classes for years by this time. And nobody knew that. I kept that under my hat. And I'm going to start adding some little self-defense tips to these videos for a couple of people that I follow. Because from maybe 85 till probably 2000, I was assisting teaching women's self-defense and such, because I honestly feel like, and if you don't like what I've got to say about this, by all means don't subscribe to me. But if you're the type of man that is going out to hunt down and prey on women and children and hurt them, then I hope you meet one of my students, and I hope they mess your life up. But anyway, so these old thugs were trying to jump on the little country kid from North Carolina. They got a rude awakening. There's three things I love. I love God, and I love good food, and I love fighting. And they messed up when they thought I was not going to love to fight. Well, I got all the garbage swept out. So when I come back on the next video, we'll finish getting all the wood out and show you what progress I've made. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, follow. Man, I need some subscribers. What's it going to hurt? It's free. Bye now. Stay safe.